Hello everyone, and welcome to our webinar on the transformations in the food and beverage sector. Thanks for joining us in today's session, where we'll look at where the sector grows strongest, what are the key drivers of change disrupting business as usual, and what are the actions some retailers have taken to combat them. Maybe a few words about us first. Planet Retail R&G is a retail analytics company focusing on the digitalization of retail. So this is not just limited to following the growth of e-commerce, but really comprises the entire digital transformation of the sector, its players and consumers, of course. We hereby differentiate between online pure play and omnichannel operations and how each segment evolves amid an ever faster changing retail landscape. As you can see on the map, we have offices across the US, the UK, Germany, very lately also Spain and India. My name is Franziska Schmidt. I'm a retail analyst at Planet Retail R&G in Germany, where we're based in Frankfurt. I'm joined by my colleague Violetta Volovic, who is an associate analyst also based here in Frankfurt. Violetta and I are part of the Planet Retail R&G go-to-market intelligence team, where we look at the development of retail markets across the world, be it national or specific city markets. We identify key growth hotspots in the world, and at these spots, what are the channels to play in? So where to play, how to win, these are the key questions that we work on. So just very quickly, this is the agenda for today. So sector value, state of play and outlook, what are the key drivers of change, and winning strategies, what are some best-in-class case studies to combat all these changes. So let's get started with the plain outlook of the sector's value. As you can see on this chart, consumer spending on edible grocery is increasing globally. I mean, it makes sense. Everyone needs to eat, global incomes and population numbers rise, so food consumption does obviously as well. But very clearly, most of the growth is driven by Asia and Oceania, together with Africa and the Middle East. Asia and Oceania is by far the largest region and will account for 55% of global edible grocery spending by 2022. North America and Western Europe are also showing growth, but to a slower extent, and are therefore expected to decrease their share of global edible grocery spending in the next 5 years. So retail investment obviously should focus on, or at least strongly consider, these emerging regions. Growth in developed markets will come at the cost of other players and basically means stealing market share from competitors. So growing in all regions, of course, is investment heavy, but in emerging and developing markets, the long-term growth outlook is much brighter. Although market dynamics differ widely across the world, as we've just seen, the food and beverage sector faces similar changes and challenges across the markets that suppliers and retailers have to adapt to. In this section, we'll now take a closer look at the largest disruptors within the sector. But before that, I'll quickly highlight our underlying analysis approach called STEEP, which helps us get an idea of how retail will look like going forward. STEEP means that we look at key drivers of change across society, technology, economy, industry, and policy, and assess their impact on the future retail landscape. So this is where we combine our proprietary global data, industry knowledge, and analyst insight from around the world. Societies first. So one key societal driver, not only in food retail, of course, is aging. And as a result of aging, declining household sizes and rising urbanization rates. So while the norm for many years already, household sizes, as you can see, will continue to shrink and develop in the developed world, moving closer to 2 persons per home. And as you can also see on the chart, in emerging and developing countries, still a lot more people live under one roof, but the downward trend is definitely prevalent. Urbanization is progressing globally, but again, the process is most dynamic in Asia and Oceania and Africa and the Middle East. So now consider that cities, particularly in emerging markets, tend to be much larger than in North America or most of Europe and are often highly congested. So this means that the shrinking and increasingly urban households will drive the shift away from shopping at large stores, usually far away from homes, towards proximity and convenience formats, and online shopping, of course. So what we see at the very same time is that consumers are shifting their spending towards experiences, such as travel, entertainment, and dining out. So between 1997 and 2022, we estimate that the retail share of consumer spending is expected to drop by around 12 percentage points in markets such as Germany, the UK, China, and Brazil even. So while it's more pronounced in developed markets, this trend is definitely occurring globally. As a result, grocery operators are rebalancing their store estates towards smaller urban formats, which offer experiential and value-adding services and cater to consumers' demand for convenience. On the picture on the right-hand side, you see an example from Capravo, a Spanish regional grocer. They have an in-store kitchen called Chef Capravo in Barcelona, where they hold cooking classes. So not only for adults, but even for children. And they also hold special events like on Valentine's Day, for example. So this is a quite direct response to more demand for experience, also in store. I think we can probably all agree that technology is having a particularly large impact on retail and increasingly on food retail. With fast rising internet access, speed, and smartphone ownership, shoppers increasingly turn into on-demand consumers. So be it goods or information, consumers increasingly ask for instant gratification, and food retailers and suppliers have started investing a lot to turn into on-demand enterprises in return to meet these new expectations. On the pictures, you see a few examples of technological change and innovation. Carrefour, for example, has launched the Gourmandia food delivery app in Romania. The app allows shoppers to order food from the gastronomy department of Carrefour hypermarkets, as well as other local restaurants, and pay cash, card, or even with meal vouchers. And delivery is free. Augmented reality can be used in multiple ways, as you probably know, for example, to improve inventory and pricing management, or also for better customer service, so really providing shoppers with detailed product information on demand. Of course, another popular way to use AR currently is to allow shoppers to see the things they can buy online and to see how they would look in their own homes. So Casino's online shop Cdiscount, for example, could massively drive its online sales since using AR. There are also many opportunities in the supply chain, for example, in distribution centers, to facilitate picking and packing of online orders. As you can see in the picture in the middle, so the lower one, in the Chinese city of Tianjin, JD.com has launched an unmanned delivery vehicle in January this year. And I think this example shows quite well how Chinese online giants are really rapidly moving to the forefront of retail innovation. Of course, one huge topic is voice. So voice will play an increasingly important role during the shopping process. However, ordering via voice means severely limited brand variety, as no shopper will really listen to 10 options for basic grocery items such as rice or detergents. So this technology is particularly dangerous for non-A and non-private label brands. Last but not least, robotics. So Lenta in Russia has unveiled promo bots that can communicate with customers to inform them about discounts, promotions, but which can also perform new product demonstrations. And I guess while this already sounds like quite a lot, I think it's fair to say that we're only at the beginning, and a lot more digital capabilities will be added to retail businesses that require appropriate investment strategies. So moving to classic e-commerce growth. A number of non-food ambient and household goods categories have already seen significant shifts online. So on average, it's 25% of these categories that are already online. Grocery has so far been rather isolated from this due to barriers to deliveries and consumer perception, particularly in fresh and frozen. So currently the share on online grocery is just at a meager small 2%. Shoppers still want to select the freshest products themselves or are skeptical about the quality of chosen and delivered products. So this is why fresh in particular is being emphasized by retailers as a key differentiation point. On the upper right-hand side on the slide, you see Carrefour's latest hypermarket concept in Barcelona, where it's emphasizing fresh a lot. So the bulk of loose fruits and vegetables aims to really create a wet market and a fresh market atmosphere. And the store even collaborates with local farmers to get their products on shelf within 24 hours after harvesting. So you can't really get it fresher. On the lower right-hand side, you see how Tesco in the UK is offering its shoppers a large fresh fish assortment, and not only the products, but also services such as skinning and filleting. So products and initiatives that help retailers build their fresh capabilities will increasingly be important. So after getting an idea of the future retail landscape at Planet Retail R&G, we derive winning strategies to prepare for these scenarios. So these are the 4 winning strategies: e-commerce and digital ecosystem management. E-commerce will become bigger, and businesses aim to develop digital ecosystems to drive sales and drive shopper loyalty. So this requires huge strategic and operational adjustments. Store of the future. Stores move from being purely transactional to social and experiential hubs with implications on assortment, services, and digital features. Supply chain and fulfillment. Fulfillment needs to become faster and geographically more flexible, and supply chains need to enable that and not really be a burden to it. Last but not least, engagement and retention. Communication with shoppers has been transforming and become more digital. And offering loyalty points collection is not sufficient anymore. So the question for the most effective engagement method has arisen. So I'm now passing on to Violetta to run through a few best-in-class case studies for each of these winning strategies to show how these can look like in practice.
Right, thank you. And now let's dive into the case studies. And we're going to start with e-commerce and digital ecosystem management. As Francie already mentioned, internet penetration and mobile usage rates are rising, and a greater share of food and beverage purchasing is moving online. With the likes of Amazon strengthening their position in the food and beverages category, many retailers are looking to develop their e-commerce proposition to maintain sales and increase shopper loyalty. Here is the example of the French grocer Carrefour, who became the first grocery retailer in Poland to launch a marketplace platform. It offers products available in Carrefour stores, as well as products from external suppliers. The orders are available for courier delivery and for pickup at the Carrefour store, as part of the click and collect services which Carrefour has been developing in Poland. With this, Carrefour will be playing two roles on this platform. It will be the seller, of course, selling their products, and the operator supporting other producers using the operating on the marketplace. Our next case study features a tech company. Google is teaming up with retailers, including JD.com, Target, Walmart, Carrefour. With the partnership, retailers can list their products on Google Search, as well as on Google Express shopping service and Google Assistant on mobile phones and voice devices. This allows to influence shoppers' purchasing decisions and thus helps retailers to compete with Amazon. Imagine a shopper is looking for a bottle of wine on Google on his phone and can see retailer's listing and add that to his Google Express cart. Later that day, the customer is at home in his kitchen and he uses Google Home device to add paper towels to the same cart and buy everything at once. So Target has recently deepened its partnership with Google by expanding Google Express availability nationwide in the US, and services are now being available with Google Assistant as well. And according to Target, over the last 6 months, the number of items in the shoppers' Google Express baskets have increased by 20% on average as a result of this tie-up. Moreover, the offer had a positive feedback from Target customers, so cooperation is going to continue with Target shoppers soon being able to link their loyalty cards with Google accounts and get a discount on purchases and free shipping as well. We now move to the next category, store of the future. As society and consumer preferences change, physical stores are changing with them. We all have seen headlines about checkoutless or unmanned store formats. This points to a future of more frictionless, digitally integrated stores that suppliers must be prepared to support. While stores can be of different formats and can be small, unmanned, like Auchan Minute here on the left-hand side, or the bigger ones, both in terms of sales area and assortment, like checkoutless Amazon Go on the right. They all satisfy the growing demand for convenience. And mobile-first and technology-savvy shoppers are willing to try more digitally integrated stores. For example, Amazon Go uses ceiling-mounted cameras to track shoppers' movement within the store. Customers can walk in, pick up the products they want, and leave without passing through checkout. Of course, to do so, they must download the Amazon Go app, which is scanned at the entrance and used for payment upon exit. Staff are only required for replenishment, front cooking, and ID checking. This whole allows to collect data on shopper behavior and preferences, what will inform future assortment and merchandising decisions. Here's another technological innovation retailers have been experimenting with, smart shelf tags. Retailers are looking to leverage new solutions to facilitate shopper missions and drive store efficiencies. Kroger is rolling out the new technology called Kroger Edge to nearly 200 stores by the end of this year. Those smart price tags will be installed on shelves instead of ordinary paper tags. They digitally display pricing and nutritional information, as well as video ads and coupons for various products. The technology gives Kroger the ability to instantly change prices and activate promotions across the stores, enabling to undercut sales at other chains and freeing up employees who would otherwise change prices by hand. In the future, Edge will communicate with shoppers' smartphones as they walk the aisles. So technology would highlight products on shopping lists, as well as products that fit shoppers' dietary restrictions. The retailer is currently developing an app to enable this. The technology could also start showing up soon in other retailer stores because Kroger is marketing and selling this technology, which was developed with Microsoft Azure. So now let us talk about supply chain and fulfillment. Delivery options and speed of fulfillment are becoming a new battleground for retailers. Shoppers demand immediacy and convenience, what pushes retailers to provide more fulfillment options. Many retailers try to find the right delivery partners or leverage the strengths of their own physical store network. And that's why the example of Target is so interesting here. Target recently bought a delivery service called Shipt. And the deal allowed Target to offer a same-day delivery via Shipt subscription services to half of their stores. In addition to that, Target is extending its online services with Drive Up. The retailer plans to roll out curbside pickup services to almost 1,000 locations this year. So how does Drive Up work? After placing an order in the Target app, customers get an alert when the purchase is ready. They drive up to the store, park at a specially designated parking space, and a Target employee gets a notification that the customer has arrived and brings the purchases out to the car. Another innovation in fulfillment is in-home delivery. Walmart is currently collaborating with smart lock specialist August Home to test this fulfillment option. Smart home technology allows shoppers to remotely open the door for delivery personnel and watch a live stream of the delivery by linking their phones with home security cameras. And instead of being left on the doorstep, packages and grocery orders are brought inside and put away in the fridge when appropriate. August Home announced that it's going to extend the services to other retailers. It introduced a service called August Access, where retailers can work with August and its partner Deliv to open shoppers' front doors and bring packages directly into their home. And lastly, let's move to shopper engagement and retention initiatives. Here we can see the growing importance of social media in commerce. For example, Lidl UK has created a chatbot powered by artificial intelligence. The chatbot is called Margot, and it gives shoppers wine recommendations via Facebook Messenger. The chatbot basically acts as a virtual wine consultant. It helps customers to pair wine with different types of food and lists wine on sale in Lidl stores. The additional feature also includes an interactive wine quiz. So the chatbot also entertains consumers in addition to educating them. Chatbots and artificial intelligence are becoming a huge growth area for retailers who are using digital services to better engage with consumers. Another example of leveraging social media to drive engagement and loyalty is the recent partnership between Walmart and BuzzFeed's Tasty app. Tasty is a go-to destination for recipe inspiration. It has attracted more than 65 billion video views and is the biggest franchise on Facebook. Now, when viewing recipe videos in the Tasty app, users can access direct links to kitchen tools, bakeware, and appliances used in the preparation process on either Walmart.com or Jet.com. And Walmart and Jet are also integrating groceries with Tasty's recipe videos, of which there are over 2,000. The shoppers will be able to add items to store pickup in Walmart. The partnership allows Walmart to integrate commerce with content and provide more convenient and frictionless shopping experience. So that was the last case study we wanted to highlight today. We will now move to Q&A section of our webinar, where we will try to answer your questions. Yeah, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate and just type them in, and we're going to try to answer them.
Yeah, so one question just came in, which is, what key technological advancements have you seen to be most prevalent in the food and beverage sector? And I think what we can definitely mention here is payment options. So what we see increasingly spring up like mushrooms basically is checkout-less stores. And that, of course, really concentrates on Asia. So, and they're mostly in China because these consumers are quite used to sharing their data and don't feel too bad about it, like many skeptical Europeans, for example. And and they're really, really tech savvy and really open to innovations and are a lot more ready to try and test these new technologies. In developed markets, in North America and Europe, for example, retailers try at least to take a friction out of the shopping process as much as they can. So, for example, scan and go options, and also try to implement increasingly checkout-less stores. So definitely on the forefront, but most dominant in Asia at the moment. So any other questions, feel free to post. So we have another question. So what do you think the impact of these trends will be on big CPG brands? So I think what we've talked about what we talked about in the session is that stores become smaller, and at the same time, customers become more hungry for more innovative and niche brands. So vegan, gluten-free, organic, just non-big CPG brands. This is what consumers increasingly ask for. So also in Europe, where Carrefour really tries very hard to meet these demands. And that now is a clash, obviously. So you have more and more brands that try to enter shelves. But at the same time, you have stores that become smaller. You have shelves that become shorter. And that means there is obviously less space for brands. So that means that they really have to try to be top on consumers' minds, that retailers can't really afford not to have them on their shelves. So that requires new capabilities in customer engagement and retention so that these shoppers really ask for these brands, basically. Yeah, and of course, it requires a high degree of product innovation, of course, and constantly monitor shopper trends to really remain on the pulse. So just checking if there are further questions coming in. So another question coming in. So which channels do you think will represent the most growth for brands? So here, of course, it depends on, is it online, is it offline? So online obviously is a huge and large growing channel, but within the offline channels, it's definitely convenience and discount. So discount, convenience. So we've talked about it. People increasingly live in cities, cities congested. People don't really have time and also don't want to spend too much time doing grocery shopping. So the more convenient shopping can be, the better. So online and convenience stores will be among the winning formats. And our proprietary channel data also reflect that quite well. And on the other hand, what we haven't really touched on in this webinar is the increasing social division across societies. And this is not only a phenomenon in developed markets such as Germany or the US or the UK, but you'll also see it in markets like China. And this is due to aging as a process. So aging will be a trigger point for the erosion of middle class and therefore for division of societies. And as we all know, retail is a reflection of society. So that means that also retail will probably split up into a lower end and a higher end. So discounters are quite well positioned to serve these current needs and future needs. Okay, I think being conscious of time, we can't really answer a lot more questions. So if you found your answer not questioned today in this webinar, feel free to send them in to these emails. So at info@planetretail.net or to Violetta or myself. And we're happy to get back to you. And also, if you're interested in reading the entire report, feel free to get in touch as well. Or if you're a client of ours already, download it. Yeah, and if you have any follow-up questions, always happy to discuss via email or via phone. So don't hesitate to reach out. And yeah, all we're left to say now is thank you very much for attending this webinar. Hope that was interesting to you. Looking forward to your feedback and have a good rest of the day. Bye.